everybody. Thanks for tuning into this episode of O365Eh. On today's episode, we're very excited to be joined by Raphael Köllner. So it's difficult to introduce Raphael because of all the different titles he has, but suffice to say, he's a Microsoft MVP. We've known him for a long time, but we're excited to have him on the show today because in terms of data privacy, he has a lot of credentials and a lot of experience. So he's been called the International Data Privacy Officer, the Group Privacy Officer Head of Data Privacy, and he's a lawyer and he knows technology really well. He knows the Microsoft technologies really well. So we're going to talk to him about all sorts of compliance and privacy to do with AI, Copilot, and a bunch of other technology. So welcome, Raphael. Why don't you just give a little introduction to our guest?
Yeah, at first, thank you very much for the introduction and that you invited me. Yeah, my name is Raphael Köllner. I'm from Cologne in Germany, and I'm living here. And yeah, the first time, and that's what you are telling us that I'm the data privacy head of the data privacy of a car builder company. We have also plants in Canada, for example. And on the other side of the halftime, I have my own Microsoft partner company and law company, and we do all of these what our customers hate. So that's very easy. All of these data privacy, cross data transfer contracts, and all of these things we all need to have a great digitalized company and to work together worldwide. But on the other side, all of us, we don't want to handle it. So we do all of this, and on the other side here, I'm on the customer side on the half part of my time, and I'm dealing with Microsoft and other Microsoft or other partners on all of these questions around data privacy, compliance, information protection, and all of these very, very interesting things.
Fantastic. Well, it looks like Habib has a question.
Yeah, so I think thanks, Raphael, for coming on.
Yeah.
I think to maybe just to kick us off, I guess maybe you can start by giving us sort of like the customer perspective of what are their main concerns around, the privacy side of things, around, the AI and the Copilot in general. So what are their thoughts?
In the beginning, out of a customer perspective, starting with Copilot, before mostly we don't hear anything about AI. We only know that there is something of AI in the cybersecurity area called the Defender, Zscaler, and whatever, all of these things. But AI in products or as a part of the producing processes of a car, for example, it's not necessary, it's not relevant. So we don't know anything about AI. And then Microsoft is starting also Apple yesterday with Apple Intelligence and all of this. And every product has a stamp of AI on it. So we can't, that is very interesting, starting with these rising up of AI, there are no products in the market without AI. Every product has AI on it, but the discussion is, and that is very hard for these companies and also for a customer perspective, we have to handle this. At first, we have to handle what is AI. So that is a very strange question. And you see it, for example, in Canada, also in Europe, in US. What is the definition of AI? Is it machine learning? Is machine learning AI? How it starts with AI. So, and for us, in combining of these, the first, what is AI? And then the question, what regulatory we need to be compliant with. So in Europe, we have an AI Act. In Canada, we have nearly the same. So we have results of these, how to handle with AI, how to handle in an ethic compliant way. It's very interesting that at first we have to say, is it an AI tool or not? And then how we handle it and how we can take care about it. In these, how we take care about it, it is very interesting that we all learned about AI, that AI works with our data. We trained AI with our data, or we putting a connector to our data so that AI gives better results, better results at the end of our prompts. And this is for a customer very, very interesting that I'm hopefully, and I know I'm talking for a lot of customers, they don't have data governance. They have a NAS system, they have SharePoint Online migration, they have access right management, a little bit of this is a SharePoint container, or this is a NAS drive, and you have access or you have not access. And with AI, and it started a little bit with the discussion of search, but now with AI, you have easily with a prompt access to all of these data. So it is very, very interesting that from we want AI, what is AI, what regulatory we need to fulfill, we had very fastly the question, where's our data? Which data we have, which data we want to proceed with AI, also the AI has access to this data, or which data we don't want to have, or we don't want that they have access to this data. So for example, and this is a hard discussion out of a customer perspective, which sensitive data we want that AI has access to. For example, the necessary data for a company, for example, how to produce something, what is the receipt of a gas, for example, the receipt of a car part, or what is the how to all of the knowledge, the deep knowledge of a company, is it allowed that AI has access to it? For example, to and this is last of these, for example, to build yeah, how is it called? It's a little bit like to build, for example, a Q&A database with AI. So that every seller see, okay, this is a product, which part of the product we have, and use AI for this. And then AI needs the access to these deep knowledge data, IP, intellectual property of the company. And this is a hard discussion that you have to give AI a lot of access that it works. And the second part of this in combination is that we learned on the customer side that you can't make a POC like with an Exchange server. They said, okay, we have 3 mailboxes on Exchange server, let's test. With AI, for example, Copilot for Microsoft 365, you're adding the licensing, and all of the tenant has a semantic cache, document DB, and the same on the Google side. We activate Google, and they asked, okay, we need access to all of your data. We have only 3 people there using it, but we need access to all of these to give you better results. So it's another part of POC. So it's not easy for the working council or for me as a data privacy officer to say, yes, it's okay to make a POC. It's more like, okay, we are productive now with only 3 people, and how we can go back. So can we go out of AI? So that's a little bit of out of the customer perspective. Last 1 year now, since last year in September with early access program and all of these, we have all of these questions and not for everyone an answer.
And Raphael, I want to touch on a really important point that in my limited experience is very pertinent to this whole conversation. And that is, what is AI? Because I've seen some companies who just want to ban AI for various security, privacy reasons. But they're already using AI in some way, shape, or form through a third-party service, and they don't even know it. So I guess my question for you, with your experience, do you have a good criteria on what constitutes AI from a service perspective? Because like you said, you could be using machine learning in a data stack. Is that AI? And then my follow-on question to that, is it better not to focus on so much on what is AI and just focus more on what data is leaving or being supplied by your organization to whatever service it is?
Yeah, that's very interesting. Often we have products like, for example, let's start very easily, Photoshop. There's Photoshop to design, for example, and prepare the pictures for the website, for example, of the products. And we see, okay, now Photoshop has AI. That's a feature that the background, for example, with AI will be reshadoed in a bluer sky or whatever. It's AI now. And then we have to check for example, Adobe is calling this AI. Is it AI in reality? So the same with Microsoft. We are using cognitive services. Now the cognitive services are called AI services. but is it AI? So yes, this is very strange, and it comes on a new level because of our suppliers. So most of the suppliers say now we have AI, we want to have 10 to 20% more money for the same service because it has AI. And on the other side, we have to check our suppliers if they're using AI, if they're using AI with our data, or they train their models with their own data, or is it like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, so they have a cloud provider and using this AI and putting our data in. So what happens? So we have a lot of use cases, and we see that all suppliers going on this AI train. And we see, for example, in Europe, I don't know, hopefully you know it for Canada. In Europe, we have around 450 new AI startups per week. So more and more suppliers using AI, and it's faster than with a cloud train. So the beginning is, for example, also Adobe, SAP. They said, okay, in the future you can only use cloud, but you have 3 years for the transformation. We have our servers, for example, SAP said our servers are only in the cloud in the next 3 years. But with AI, they said we're starting AI next month, and you can't deactivate it. So this is a very hard decision to say, okay, to switch the tool, but to which tool? Every tool, for example, in the CRM, Dynamics is using AI, SAP is using AI, so everyone is using AI, but you don't want it, but you can't deactivate it. And it's very hard to say, I don't want to use AI. So what we do is, on the first hand, we want to have a regulation how to use AI in the company. Have a regulation, a risk management, which AI has which risk level. So, for example, we're using a little bit from the European AI Act and said, okay, we have 4 risk levels. For example, forbidden AI. That's not allowed in the companies, or also not allowed in Europe, for example, or worldwide. When I said we have high risk AI, we have risk AI, and we have AI with low risk. For example, changing the background is low risk. But this is very, very strange that, and we are starting this also. We have a lot of these regulations. We have AI with AI, with the same with NIS2, with new Cybersecurity Act here, and we have more cybersecurity acts also in India, in Turkey, in Japan. We have new cybersecurity laws. So we have a combination of these new AI acts and new cybersecurity laws, and we have to ask all of our suppliers: do you have AI? Do you have the certificates for cybersecurity? How do you deal with it? And my last sentence: the account manager don't know it. Mostly the account manager of the supplier. Okay, it's AI. Yeah, which AI part? What do you mean is AI? We don't know. So, as a great example, I'm talking to an email supplier who said, okay, we are bringing the email out of a central post box to the right department. And I look at it, and everyone of knows it. That is, you exchange mail flows, for example. That are some rules. That's not AI. But the partner said, "Okay, no, that's AI." And I said, "No, that are rules. There's HR in the email, so you're putting it to the HR department. That's not AI." But they said, "No, no, no, that's AI." And then we have the hard decision: do we believe the supplier and it's AI, and we have all of the AI regulatory, and we have to deal with it, or we say it's not AI, but then authority came and said, oh, the supplier said it's AI, so we have to fulfill the regulatory. So that is hard in this moment. Hopefully you understand. It's strange that often you have to deal with AI regulatory and compliance, but at the end it's not AI.
Indeed. I mean, based on what you just spoke about, it's amazing that companies are even doing any business at all. If they're lumping everything in terms of defining what AI is. But maybe just shifting gears a bit, and from your perspective, anecdotally, like what are you seeing your customers do with respect to Copilot specifically? Like, and how is it? What's it changing in the world of data governance, DLP, data classification, information protection, that stuff? How are you seeing these companies sort of adopt it and embrace it? The ones that are using it.
Yeah. You have, out of my perspective, when I see us or I see my data privacy colleagues, or I see also on the half part, I'm also a consultant, I see my customers. We have two customers. The first one said, we have AI, let's use it. But DLP, data governance, do you want to think a little bit about compliance? No, we use it. So we go into the full risk. We use it, and we have also customers here in Europe. They make press releases, and they out of the world. We are the first ones. Microsoft decided that we are in the early adopter program, and we're using Copilot for MP65 for everyone. You know the reaction. A lot of customer closed the contract. Said, okay, you do it, goodbye. So that's a little bit of these companies. There are, yeah, often also regulated companies said, okay, close both eyes, we're using it. But on the other hand, you have these companies, they said, okay, we want to use AI, but let's do it a little bit about thinking about it, how we use it, what are the use cases, and then what we have to do with this. And for me, and that what I said is the thesis that Copilot for Microsoft 365 and OpenAI and all of this is the best boost for PureView. Sorry, for the compliance tool. It's the best boost ever. It's like the pandemic for Microsoft Teams is Copilot for PureView. Yeah, that's it. So everyone, and that's a little bit what Microsoft is missing in the years before to prepare for Copilot. And you know it. Every account manager goes to the customers, also to me, and said, you need Defender, you need security add-on, security. And also, yet, as Microsoft, PureView is a part of security. So security. And now every account manager said, oh, our customer asked for PureView for data governance, deletion policies, retention, access management, SharePoint restrictions, want a label prevent that the data will work with Copilot and all of these. And now Microsoft is awakening and said, oh, okay, let's talk about PureView and bring, often the customers has the licensing, bring the licensing on board. So for me, on the part of the consulting part, I do the last 12, 13, no, 14 months, nothing more than a fast implementation program of PureView, bringing data classification, retention policies, communication compliance, insider risk on board in 6 months, in 7 months, in 4 months, as default sets, and starting very fast with all of these tools. So the customer needs to know their data. And that's what all of us as a compliance guys telling the customer since, I'm telling this since 10 years. Handle your data, know where are your data, which data are on which container, or do you make a copy of your data and sending your copy all over the world? It may be not a good idea. So, but now with Copilot, they're thinking about it and said, okay, we invest money because we are afraid that we are losing our intellectual property when we are using AI. So for me, that's good. Better they do it before using AI, but mostly they're using AI and then they're thinking, oh, okay, we're finding data with a prompt we don't want. So, yeah.
From a purview kind of tooling point of view, are you seeing organizations struggling with the tooling, not being able to kind of keep up with the technology? So simple cases like, could you do an e-discovery on content that's generated by Copilot, or see what was suggested or what was being kind of not human created?
Yeah, definitely yes. So mostly the customer also, as a result of the Microsoft marketing, they think that, for example, e-discovery can do all of this, or the new AI app can do all of these. They give you all information about it, or they starting with a default set of data classification, and in the data classification preview dashboard, they see all of their data are classified. No. So that's the one part of this. But the hardest part for every company is more the organizational one. So, and that's what you know too. Deploying label set, it's PowerShell, 3 minutes, ready. Deploying DLP, we have a default set from 10 policies using PowerShell, 5 minutes, or like this. You know what I mean? It's very short. In one day, you can deploy the most of these rules, data acquisition, and all of this. But the hardest part is, and this is the most discussion in my daily life, also with customers, they have labels before, to bring this labeling and data classification system AI ready. And this is what I see, what also Microsoft and also for us, the MVPs, the RDs, and also are communicating a little bit too less. Making the company AI ready is not being deployed label set like public, internal, confidential, high confidential. No, it's more like bring the right label set for using of AI. So for example, yes, the high confidential label is also the label with the additional part that when you have a label on it, that the file has no content analysis, for example. And there's thinking the step more about the default set. And this is a little bit what Microsoft trying currently with the data security, with the data security part, or be ready for AI with data security as a marketing offer. But at the end, it's more about thinking how exactly these company dealing with it. So for me, I'm trying it also in the last 12 months to make a blueprint for every company. Makes the ISO 27001 set or the set from the airplane companies with TLP white, TLP red, all of these for their data. But at the end, when you don't have the right set, when you don't have the right mindset, when you don't have adoption, you all know what happens. After 12 months, we have 0.01% of the data are labeled. So nothing helps. And that's a little bit what the most customers and the most companies, they're starting with AI. They know they need to have data governance, but the organizational part, the concept part, and the thinking about the concepts, they're missing it. And they think that's a part of one day or the part of 1 week, and we are ready. And then they are starting, and at the end, we have 1 year. 1 year for the right set, 1 year for communication, 1 year for rollout, because and this is also a part, the thinking and the creating the best concept for this company. On the other side, the technical implementation, the typical implementation, half a day, you can implement it with PowerShell and clicking policies, that's okay. But often the companies, and that I see more and more, for example, the user has 2 different identities. They have one identity on premise or in another set like in Salesforce or in Google Workplace, and there's another identity in Microsoft Entra. And they are logging in with their Active Directory identity, for example, and they can label data. Oh, that's gray. I can't label these data. Why? And they're making tickets and everything, and at the end, you have to switch your account, and then they're switching their account to the Microsoft 365 one, to the Entra one. Oh, I can label data. So you know what I mean? That is often the infrastructure they are built in a historical way, and they starting very fast with Microsoft 365 in the pandemic. They have 2 identities, 3 identities, so the users don't know with which identity I have to log in, which identity can label classified, which identity have access. And often also I get the feedback, we are using our Active Directory identity, we don't have Copilot. Or they have Copilot and then they're in the wrong one. So we all know they go to bing.com, going to Copilot, and they have the consumer one and not the one that we want, with protected, with commercial data protection, with enterprise agreement, with enterprise agreement connection, all this. So they have the wrong one. So that's very hard, and that's very, very hard with Copilot, with the technical organizational parts, and on the other side, and this is a little bit feedback to all the new Microsoft partner which we have implementing in 1 week AI. I got a lot of customers that come to me and said, or also out of the community, hey, we have our first OpenAI Copilot thing. Here's our URL. Please try it. And I go in and say, okay, there's your URL. I don't need to log in. There's no MFA. And when I put a prompt in it, I get your company data. And you're sending me, without any encryption, the link via email. That's not a good idea. And that's what I mean. 3 days for $499, you get your only GPT client or Copilot. Yes, but please think about it. That's not safe and not secure.
So, Raphael, you've been obviously doing this kind of stuff for a long time. Are there any tools that you use and or recommend for the client to help them understand their data better so that they can do the security side of things before they go through the, maybe the enable? Obviously, we want it to go through the protect my data and secure my data and remove all the oversharing beforehand. Is there anything that you use or you ask your clients to use, right?
Yeah, very easy. You don't need a licensing for this using the search box. Using the search box and try which information you find and you get access to. And this is also what I'm telling to the working council or to the information protection office. I said, using Delph. Yeah, we have Delph. It's not deleted. It will be deleted in this year, but we have Delph. Let's see where's your data and where you have access. And then you see, okay, my access management, my right management is not correct. And then let's go to Microsoft Purview and let's check with AI, for example, for on-premise with, it's not the best one, but let's try with the Microsoft Information Protection Scanner to see what data you have. And for me, I'm using these know your data parts like scanner, going to the Purview environment, and you don't need to deploy a label. That's really cool, and a lot of people don't know it. You don't need to deploy a label. Go in it, look at the trainable classifier, sensitive information types, and you see where is your data. And that's for me, and hopefully you agree me, often I see these most data, this most secret data like Azure secret keys from the Azure Key Vault, or a list of 1,000 customers with address and everything, an Excel file, is stored where? In a OneDrive. So, and a lot of information protection officer, for example, or compliance officer, I show it, or other data privacy officer, oh, do we need preview and deploy and everything about 1 year? No, go into the portal, have a look at it, and you see where is your data, which data. Yes, it's not 100% exactly. Yes, there are some false, true, wrong things. That's okay. An email about my contact lenses at advertising is also a medical data. Yeah, okay. But as a part of where are the most of your data, this is very, very interesting. So you see when you look into the companies, out of my result of this is that the thing that you as an employee want to protect your knowledge, you store everything in OneDrive, in your personal NAS drive and everything. Yes, Copilot has access. Yes, AI can have access. But on the other side, that's company data. So that's the most discussion I have with the employee, him or herself. Please store business data in a SharePoint, not in your OneDrive. Please store your data in a team, not in your OneDrive. Let's have a protected, or I call it a secure SharePoint site, which restricted SharePoint site, so no AI, MFA, only from specific administrated devices you have access to the SharePoint site. Put it there. It's more secure than in your private drive. Your private drive is not for these secret company information, but You see it in every company. They store the secrets in their personal drives or in PSD files. Okay, sorry, it's horrible when you see this. At the end, AI brings all of these out of the dark into the light. But at the end, you see that worldwide we have the same issues. That's what I know. For example, we have plants all over the world, and I'm also talking to other data privacy officers, information protection officers. Said, okay, we have also plants over the world. We have all the same issue. So going to Canada, to Mexico, to US, to Europe, to Germany, to Italy, going to Japan, going to China, to Austria, to India, we have all the same issue. That they're storing the sensitive data in their personal drives, not in the company drives, and they don't have any idea who has access and which data they have and where they are stored. And that is for me very, very strange. And on the additional to these things, when they know their data, the second thing is, and this is an organizational and a concept discussion. I asked, for example, the HR department from one of my customer in Mexico, do you have deletion policies? How long do you store the personal file? We don't know. I think for every time, forever. And I said, okay, in Mexico, same in Canada, you have timelines, and then you have to destroy the personal file of your former employee. Oh, I think we thought every time that we need it. So, and then they asked me why you ask this question in combination with AI and Copilot. And my very easy answer is, and everyone said, huh, well, we don't think about that. I said, when a file is deleted, it can't work with AI. When a file is deleted, you don't have a data leak. When a file is deleted, you don't have any problems with the national authority, with the press, or with everything. Delete your files. And this is my result at the end. Yes, we need data governance, we need data classification, but very easy, we need to delete data. And that's, for example, that's very hard. I don't know how it is in Canada exactly, but in Germany and also from my other colleagues, it's very hard to delete something. But for me, I have a like a rhythm, like a song that every starting of a new year, the first week, here we have legal holiday, so vacation, and 2 days of this, I have my playlist. And I go through my data and destroy everything. Paper, deleting data, destroying my hard drives, putting into the trash and everything. And I deleted, for example, 30% of my data every year. And I don't need it in the future. I destroy it. Why I need these old data? No, I don't need it. So, but you think about it, worldwide, everything is deleting and storing more and more data. I mean, I said for using AI, destroy the data delete your data you don't need, classify your data, and think about which data are essential for you. You have to protect for content analysis, for AI, and all of this. But at the end, I think we can tell this more and more and more. We need more accidents. Sorry, we need more data leaks. So we all know when we have a data leak, the money is here to bring this project on a higher level with the executive board. They said, yes, now we need this. And every time I said, okay, please make it before we have this accident or we have this incident and we have this data leak, please make it before. But at the end, and this was what one of my customers said to me, it was a customer out of the transportation logistics part out of India. They said to me, Raphael, it's very easy. Do all of your topics, data governance, everything. Can we transport it? Can we put it on a street? Can we put it on a train, in an airplane, so that we can earn money with it? No. With all what I said to you, you can't earn money. You are protected that you have to pay money. Yeah, but how high is the risk? When I look into the market, okay, we have here 30 millions, there 40 millions, but at the end, when all of our people Yeah, what I mean, when all of our people are working and don't make with you data governance, we earn more money. So at the end, it is very, very interesting that you have to fight against it because the authorities are not very hard. There are not a lot of, strictly incidents. There are not a lot of press that said, okay, let's try it. The risk is not high. We don't earn money with it. So let's try AI to earn more money. And that's a strange discussion. And hopefully we come out of it.
Well said, Raphael. Well, some really good advice there, and I want to try to recap it in maybe 20 seconds. I think the message for people is, well, actually, I want to tie into one point you said. It's really important, whether it's AI or security, to get your identities cleaned up. I think that's a really important point. But then from an AI compliance, privacy, security perspective, that data, we want to make sure that we're storing it in the right place. We know where it is, label it for AI if possible, have those retention policies, because as you said, if the data is gone, it's not exposed. And then lastly, do look at tools like Purview to just have some sort of oversight governance of everything that's going on. So that's my 20-second wrap. But last question for you, just really quick. If a company wants to get ahead of this, any good references, like just one or two online sources or papers or something that people could read to get up to speed with the best practices?
Yeah, there are some blog posts from yesterday I saw from the Microsoft blog post from the product group I can share with you about data security. That's really great. So Microsoft also is understanding it. I have some blog posts also I can share with you, and I can share with you also a paper for for a law paper about Copilot and data privacy and configuration. So that's what I like, that the lawyers and data privacy guys starting to learn more about IT and AI and learn that you have to configure something. So that I can share with you, and happy to learn more and bring us on this discussion, and we all together hopefully bring it on and now hopefully I know it that it works, that we bring the company into the right position to work with AI in a secure and ethics way, to don't destroy themselves with AI.
That would be fantastic. Send those over. We'll include it on the associated blog post, and that'd be a great reference for people. So thank you so much, Raphael, for giving us an overview of this incredibly complex topic. And we look forward to talking to you in the future.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thanks.